What up? Big old Tim bedded up. We have started work on the tan Cutlass, as you can see. This one is getting 24s. Amani's. We set up it for a 7-inch lip. This video will be step by step of what we're doing. So, Amani forged 24s. It's gonna be a 5-inch lip on there right now, but it's gonna be set up for 7-inch lip. 2-inch narrow on the rear end, stock rear end, 7.5. I'm gonna do some frame bracing, do the frame notch in the back, fix the frame tails, because that's the bad spot on the car. So the front, as you can see, tearing the front apart. I don't have all my tools here. There was a mess of tools that was here. I showed that on the other video, but I got some of my good wrenches here. So, been slowly taking it apart. I don't have a pair of wire cutters here. And normally I take the cotter keys out, this and that, but then again, it doesn't matter about the cotter key because we're not using these control arms or these ball joints, so it didn't matter. So then I just took the wrench, as you can see, the cotter key's still in there. So I put the wrench on it and just twisted it off. Sometimes you get lucky and it twists off. That stays because that's pressed. If it was loose, it might turn on you. The cotter key could cause a problem, but because all this stuff is trash, it's going in the garbage and the scrap. I don't know if you guys seen that on the other video. I got the scrap bin right there at the crib. Yeah, it's on the side of the house garage. That's the second one. The first one that was here with all the stuff that was left here, it had 3,100 pounds in it. So that was a lot of shit. So that's the second bin, but of course I use the bins. I don't mind it sitting there. Ain't hurt nobody sitting there. My trash cans are in front of it. But yeah, I bought this Cutlass. This is Quint's Tires in Aurora, Illinois. A lot of people ask where I'm at. I'm in Illinois. Still in Illinois. I'm just out in a little bit of the sticks out here. But man, it's beautiful out here. And as you can see, that's the west. So when the sun sets, boom. The other day it was like red as hell over there. Look cool. But yeah, anyways. Went through all these bins. Now I gotta organize where I'm gonna put the bins. The baby got a hold of some primer, and Jello Joe was painting up her Mustang. The motor's burnt out. So, she was just riding continuous with the 20-volt battery. One motor went out, and then like a day later, the other motor went out. The back tires we were able to buy on eBay, or not eBay, Amazon. So I wonder if they sell the motors. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm gonna grab her something else. So, back to this Cutlass. Springs. As you can see how distorted the spring is. So you guys at home wanting to take the shit apart yourself, and springs popping out when you smack the spindle with the hammer you want to hit, right on the side here, bam. With a lot of spring pressure, if you don't have a jack and a jack stand, this and that, up underneath of it to hold it, it could catch. Sometimes when I release them on the car, on a lift, I'll have the screw jack right there underneath the ball joint here, and then it'll bounce a little bit. Sometimes it'll come up off there, so it's a little crazy. So anyways, so what you do, if you're putting coilovers in, obviously, get you a propane torch, and you take the propane torch when the spring is still in there, and you heat the coil. And when you're heating the coil, on this side, the opposite side will touch. Then you go to the opposite side, so you can go front, back, boom, 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 and you can loosen it all the way up. So that way, when you pop the ball joints off, you don't have to worry about it springing out, spring shooting out, rolling across the driveway, the house garage, wherever you're doing it at. So there you go, a little tip about that stuff. This car, to me, as you can see, these spindle shafts are clean as hell. Either somebody recently put rotors on there. The pads were new, the shocks were new. But anyways, I mean, it's just so clean. Everywhere on this car is very, very clean. Except for the frame tails. So what I'm saying is I'm pretty sure, obviously this is a 307 V8 Oldsmobile motor car. And it's very clean inside. I don't know what the dash reads for miles, but I'm thinking this is a very low mile car. That's why it's so clean. I mean, it's, you know, it's got bumps and bruises, scrapes, scratches, whatever you guys want to call it. But yeah, so get that sway bar off. We got the QA1 sway bar. I believe it is the big rim one. The only thing you need to save out of here is your stock bolts because of the small head. A lot of people do change to the Allen key head bolt, but you can get those in the stainless, which is just a 3/8 bolt. So if you do, just be careful taking these out. Sometimes they do break off. So tighten it a little bit, loosen it a little bit, tighten it a little bit, loosen it a little bit. If you want to, before you go to work on it, spray inside. You know, try to spray inside the frame there. You might get to that. But I mean, a couple over the years, as many cars as I've done, I had one or two break off, one or two holes strip out. Sometimes, I mean, if you strip it out, just go up to the next size, bigger bolt. If you get one with the pointed head, kinda, you can run it in there. But yeah, sway bar coming off, going to scrap. Control arms coming off, going to scrap. I will start cleaning up the frame, and I don't want to run all the brake fluid out of it, but I don't know if these are going to break yet, but I'll take the bracket off. This can stay up out of the way, and I'll be able to go through and clean up the frame rail, clean it all up. These plastics got to go right here in the front. Even if you wanted to trim this up to leave it because of this, 24s end up hitting right in this area, and there's a little spot that hangs down behind on this part that sometimes you got to cut above there, because when you turn, the tire wants to hit it. Now if you leave this and then you turn and the tire hits this and the bolt tears your tire up, fender has to be trimmed, move forward. What I was saying about control arms, as you can see, stock ball joint location, the ball joint is towards the front. So when people are putting arms on backwards, it could help with Cutlasses because of how the fender is so long right here. And then I guess Malibu's too. If you turn that around, then it give you a sport steering. 24 is definitely, 26 is obviously, you need Pro Touring, give you the longer ball joint. But yeah, back here, of course, you gotta trim it. And again, I've been talking about making them damn panels to go in here that you can be able to bolt. You know, you can bolt it here. So make the panel, you know, to where it goes up higher. Make it go underneath the notch and make it bolt to, I don't know, one of these 10 mils. What is this, 13? No, it's a 10. But so you got to get rid of this area back here. Definitely 26. Like that car right there, the 26. When I'm turning the wheel to move the car around, even though the top of the tire is out, so it's not fully aligned, they're rubbing the back parts of the fender in this area. So 24s, you really don't have to mess with it, but you gotta get rid of the inner wheel well, and of course the e-brake cable. A lot of people like to cut the frame, move the e-brake cable. You don't need it. You don't need the e-brake cable to get rid of that shit. Bam. But yeah, gonna get these tie rods off of here. We got all the new stuff. We got the Pro Forge by Holley, center link, inner outer tie rods, idler, everything. The sleeves. So like we're taking this stuff off. The next move, there's no sense in taking this bolt off because we're getting rid of the center link too. So take the idler, 2 bolts off the frame because there's no sense in taking that one off either, and take this one off, the fitment on, and drop it, and then that whole setup in the scrap. The capsule nuts, garbage, don't need it. These damn braces, you know, they go from the front of the frame to underneath there. I'm sorry guys, they're fucking horrible. And then you guys are ordering them red or painting them red or the UMI shit. It's horrible. Looks like shit underneath there. The more red shit underneath the car, this and that. Let's see how much red stuff we can put underneath there. That right there, those braces, trash, garbage. I know we put tubes underneath cars and stuff like that and brace cars, but that is horrible. And them things don't do shit anyways. Well, I showed you all this already. But all right, let me get to the next step. I'm getting these control arms and everything off of here. And I still gotta organize some more shit over here so I can put the white Cutlass from this side to that side. And it can sit, you know, back here more. The garage door shut, whatever. At the end of the day, I could push it out. At night, push it in, or just leave it right back in there. But I'm gonna have get some time in on it in between these jobs. Because like I said, there is parts that I have to replace. I have to replace the back coilers. I have to replace all the Heim joints for those control arms. I have the brand new control arms. I just don't have the Heim joints. The Heim joints that are in there are old ones that are all messed up out of the blue box Chevy that were squeaking and making all kinds of noise. I just did that to set it up just to get it here. But tubs, coilovers, anti-roll, axles, I still gotta get. So with everything going on, like I said, I went from what, 20 cars behind to 1 car behind, and keeping it moving with new jobs, newer jobs, in and out. So all right, let me get back on this thing and I'll be back with y'all. All right, y'all. Tango 10. Got it up. Got the front suspension all ripped out of it. Upper control arm scrap. Lower control arm scrap. Sway bar scrap. Got the plastics removed from the front. Those calipers are going to be scrapped too. They're just, you know, so that way I don't drip all the fluid out right now. Which somebody recently put the lines on, I guess. So who knows? Sometimes they look like they're gonna break and they don't break, so it looks pretty clean right there. So we'll see how that goes. But I always get rid of the bracket because the way that I notch the frame, I don't do that step notch, dumb shit. Already, like 45 seconds in, I'm already cussing. I don't think it matters, but anyways, you know, my notches roll from in here, start and curve back. 24's basically right to the line, a little bit of curve past that line, just a little bit for 24's, but I'll do it maybe just a little bit more. Never know, later on down the road, if somebody gets the car and wants to throw some 6's on there, you know, just adjustments, and already be notched for it, so I'll probably go back a little bit more. But yeah. Same thing this side. Oh, all that stuff's off. Bam. I don't have the wheels here for this one. I'll pick up the fronts, because like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get this front knocked out. And both the wheels and everything on the front. And then I'm gonna do the other car real fast. And then jump right back on this car. Not that one, another one coming. But you guys will probably see this video before that, or some video clips of that one before this. Who knows? But yeah, Cuddy, 24-inch Armani boards, getting that hook up. All right. What up, what up? I'm back. I'm back. Look, finally got the welder over here. I wired in that outlet real fast, 220, 50 amp. Like I said, this is just temporary until I do the conduit and all that stuff and figure everything out. And I tapped into that 220 outlet, boom. So you don't use the lift and the welder at the same time. So obviously it's a 50 amp breaker in there. It's got some decent sized wire running over here, and it's solid core wire. But just temporary, like I said, you know, this right here, how the motor I did it the other week. Whatever. But anyways, it works. My little 180 machine. Put the ground down there and just went real fast down there, trying to see if it would pop the breaker or cause anything to get hot. And it actually did okay. The machine sounds a little better. I don't know how that matters. Maybe the shorter distance between the breaker and there. I don't know. Anyways, on the Cutlass. Got the frame cleaned up the way that I wanted to clean it up. All that. Got it notched. My signature. You know, cut right there. Some people say it weakens it. Some people is that, whatever. Like I said, it's like a wrinkle point. Like the newer cars. Softens the hit if you were to get into an accident, you know, crinkles up, whatever. You know, these cars, no airbags and shit like that. But spend all that money on that coilover, you want to be able to see it. So there you go, you can see it. But the main focus here is I got this side, a plate notched out of it, and now I'm gonna start cutting it, fitting it like I do, and this one will be polished off, so I'll have plenty of weld in there to clean it all up. Look like a stock frame rail, like I always do. No, not like I always do, but certain cars get better treatment. I don't know how y'all take that, but so got my Nova here on the trailer. Got that Oklahoma Cutlass with that killer stance. That killer stance. That's funny. What gets me is that people really think it's staying like that. But it ain't staying like that. It is not staying like that. It's gonna be tucked down, all that. I still got a lot of work to do that. Still got a lot of work to do with this. But it's a Thursday, so I'm gonna put in this time in this front end. Get this thing notched. Get the rest of it all cleaned up. So I do not have the compressor here yet. I gotta get my compressor here next. I'm still at the other shop. So with the compressor here, when I do all this cutting, I'll be blowing it off, boom, boom, boom. Then when I'm welding, I make sure with the bushing, if the bushing starts to get hot and starts burning, I can blow it out, stuff like that. But this one I'll just be a little careful with it. But the next thing to get here is the compressor, and like I said, there's one table that I'm keeping. But yeah, as you can see, I got the stands on the both front. I made sure the car was level. The car is level. I got the stands underneath there, supported, keeping the body gap. You know, there's people I see jacking cars up, like jack it up underneath that corner, or jack it up underneath the front, and then they're doing the frame notch, and once they cut it, they got all that pressure on there, and then when they get done, it's either too tight at the top, or guys that jack it up here and doing one side at a time, and then the car's leaning, and the gap's bigger. I mean, these cars, sometimes when you put them up, I mean, you can see there's a little bit of a difference, but when you put these cars in the air regularly, on just going up in the air, that body gap opens up, top of finger, top of door. Oh, yeah. So all the other stuff I still got going on, I brought all this other stuff from the shop. I haven't organized it yet. That's still stuff on that cart that was here. It's still going to take that bench or that rack down. So I've been putting stuff on it, but I need to take it off. I was able to clean up all this over here, and then I started bringing stuff from the shop and putting it up over here. Trying to organize how I'm gonna do it so that way I can get to everything. Yeah. A stoplight. Pretty cool. I got some rough country shocks right there that are gonna go on the Trailblazer. Once I got time to fix the Trailblazer, I'm gonna put 4 on the front, 2 per side. I know I got the coilovers on there, but the one coilover blew out. I'll be able to rebuild it or get another shock, but I think that'll be good for the front. Maybe use one of those a steering dampener. I don't know if you can use just a shock as a steering dampener, or maybe I gotta get a steering dampener so that way control the bump steering and stuff like that. But anyways, all right, y'all. I'm gonna put some more time into this. I'm gonna show you all. You know, I guess over here I could start doing a tripod, stuff like that, but when it comes to editing, I don't know about that editing. I ain't got time for it. I'm one man doing all this. One man doing all this. I got my wall set up kind of over here. I know I still got to insulate and all that stuff, but true chassis. Ooh. Got my signs. I got tons of signs that I've collected over the years. Got that bedded up Kustoms. Got my tools, lug-on sockets, big sockets, Matco, snap-on, wrenches, you know. It's easier to be able to just walk over here, grab it, go to the car, boom, 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 boom. I ain't gotta walk all the way to the back of the shop. That's what I hated about the other shop. But yeah, slowly but surely, y'all. Like I said, I'll be taking that first section of wall down there first to frame it in and insulate it, seal the bottom. Like I said, you can really see. You see outside. There you go. I got a spray foam mat, seal it up. We got the mouse catcher. Where's he at? He was just in the backyard. I know, I got a little mess going on. Mouse catching cat was just chilling right there. There ain't too many mice out here though that I've seen. I ran over one yesterday. I was mowing the grass over by that tree, and as I was coming back this way, I seen it bouncing through the yard, and I ran that bitch right over. You ain't got no place over here. The cat was probably like, man, I was playing with that mark. The other week, there was one out behind the shed, coming along the back of the shed, and I seen something hopping. I turned around, it was a mouse. I ran. I've only seen a few. You guys would figure, you know, being out here in the sticks, you know, there'd be more, but I've only seen a handful. A handful, which is good. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get to cutting up this front frame. But yeah, I'll be back. About that, I'll be right back. What up? I'm back. All right, so I'm pretty sure I showed you guys this side. Now, this side came out really nice, shiny, a little bit of, you know, fisheye over there, but the back came out smooth. Stopper control arms on, the coilover's in there. I had to paint that spring because that spring was the old style silver, and the other spring is the new style because Viking's not making silver ones no more. They're doing black, so I had to make that one. Kind of match that one. This side over here has been being a real ass to me because I ran out of paint, mid-painted the other night, and then it wasn't fully dried. I don't know, the cane was shitty. And you can see this side got kind of like, it's not as shiny as that side. And then from painting a day I can't even talk. A day after, you can see it started to fisheye crack. So when you guys are painting, make sure you grab the same paint and enough cans, and if you don't think you have enough to start and finish it, then don't do it, and make sure you get the cans, or if you're spraying it with a gun, make sure you got enough. Now you reduce it. Yeah. Now I just took, it's still a mess in here, but it's my mess this time. Got the left spindle up in here. No sense in painting it and then cutting it. Put it up in here, cut the ears off, taking the bracket, test fitting it. Got to drill and tap the holes. You got to wash this area right here. So as you can see, I hit it with the cutoff wheel, but I haven't hit it with the soft stone yet. 40 grit, soft wheel. I'm going to polish this up because this area right here comes tricky. When you put the bracket on, everything clears. But when you put the caliper on, if you don't have this cut far enough right here, the caliper nub, where the bolt holes for the caliper go, will hit this. And then you'll have to grind it while it's in the car and stuff like that, and then put a touch of paint on it. So you want to fit these. It's easy to take them off. You're changing the whole suspension, take them off, throw them on a vise. Look, this is a wood bench. This is what I did. Because this isn't staying on here, it's just temporary. But I put 4 3-inch screws in each hole, 3 holes. It's holding on there pretty good. But anyways, it's just for cutting, putting the caliper up here, fitting the bracket, drill and tap. But yeah, Willwood kit right here. It's a red caliper. It's only a 4-piston kit. I'm not sure if that's what he wanted. But it's fine. It's fine for this car. 4-piston will work. Aftermarket brakes. As long as your brakes work, as long as they work properly, it's gonna work. But yeah, so we got this kit, front and back. 4-piston going on this thing. There's the wheel right there. I don't know if I showed it in the video before or during this video. Now I have 24 275. Let's see. These are the ones I put on the other goldish colored Cutlass when I first set it up for the same guy. Lexani tire, and it is a, you can never find a number. 255/30 24. Amani. Oh yeah, these are going on here. I'm not gonna touch the back until I get the other Cutlass done, or I might just go ahead and finish this thing. I don't know, but I gotta get this front end done. Been doing some work at the other shop. It's not my shop, somebody else's shop now, but I've been helping out, do some work on some stuff over there because they did some things for me. I'm doing some things for me, so I've been helping out to get some of their cars in and out. That's why it's taking forever with this one. You guys are paying attention on IG and Facebook. But yeah, all right, let me get these spindles cleaned up. Yeah, I didn't want to leave a brake fluid mess, so I'll wait until I get the caliper, the spindle, everything on there, and then I'll take that off, put the fitting on there, have the hose already on the caliper, the adapter, the fitting, all that, have that all set up, and then undo that and screw it to the adapter, which is a pretty clean brake line. Somebody else ran, so it should come off without breaking. And that way I don't have a big brake fluid mess, I'll have a little brake fluid mess. But yeah, all right, y'all. Still working on it. April 10. I'll do that. All right, I got the spindle cut for the front of this thing. I got it mocked up, so I got the bracket on there. I got it drilled and tapped. Bolts in there. Made the clearance on the back for this one I'm talking about. Caliper to spindle. Sometimes people won't cut this far enough, and then the caliper will hit here. And I've seen people grind the edge of the caliper. That weakens the caliper. But this flat bracket is on the flat edge of here, so don't ever grind on the front edge. That's a flat area. Same with the top bolt. Top bolt for drilling and tapping, I always drill all the way through with the drill bit. So that way, see, there's a hole right there. That way, and from experience and everything I've done over the years, in the very beginning, the very first set that I did, I didn't drill it enough. So then I tapped it. And then when I put the Torx head bolt in, it got all the way down to where it was probably about a quarter of an inch. It wouldn't go no more. My dumb ass tightened it, which screwed the bolt up. Then when I tried to back it out, I backed it out, and because I flattened the tip of it, it destroyed the threads coming out. So then I forgot what I ended up doing to get it together. But I seen the other day on that bluish Regal or whatever car it was, no, maybe it was a Silver Money car, how they must have done the same thing, and they went and they put a bolt and a nut back here. So I don't know. But anyways, this is the area that comes real close. This top bolt right here. So if you don't grind this back far enough or cut this back far enough, you end up hitting the caliper on there. And like I said, once you get it on the car and get it all set up and you go put the caliper on, the caliper's hitting. So make sure you cut the spindle enough. And some people will be like, oh, you cut too far. Yeah, because everybody's always going to talk shit. Anybody and everybody. I'm not perfect. I just try to double check and make sure everything works. And yes, I still have problems to this day with cars. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna get this spindle painted. I'll get it painted. I'll take this back off. Get it painted. And after it's dry, I will Loctite the bolts in for the bracket. And obviously at the end, I'll be putting the caliper on, so I won't have the caliper on there now. But Loctite. All this hardware right here, all these bolts, all this has to be Loctited. You guys want to just hurry up and get the job done, and you turn around and you gave the cheapest price possible just to get the job, then you don't want to spend money on Loctite. Then the car ends up fucking up, and then you don't want to do something with it because whatever, and then the next guy has to do it that actually knows what he's doing, and then he's got to deal with all the broke shit and the fucked up shit. But yeah, again, I'm not perfect. I've had shit fuck up. But yeah, Loctite, Loctite, Loctite. The studs too, guys, the studs. They have to be Loctited in. If you gotta clean them off, because they got a little bit of oil on them, you gotta clean them off. Loctite them in. And then other people are like, oh, you only need like a dab. No, you need more than a dab. I'd rather see my shit dripping some Loctite and know there's Loctite on there than to be like, I don't see no Loctite anywhere. And they say, yeah, we Loctited it. And then come to find out it's just a drop. And you guys seen that in my videos too. Take something back apart that somebody else did, and you'll see they used a drop of blue Loctite. Anyways, all right, y'all, get back on it. Yo. Been back on this. I'm not sure what I showed the last part of this video in a couple days. But anyways, the whole front suspension. I guess I should have checked the other part of this video. But anyway, the whole front suspension is on here. The QA1 sway bar is on here. The links are on there. Front end set, alignment set. This stuff's got to be jammed, but the final toe in, toe out, and all that stuff will be set. But yeah, this big rim. This is like one of the only things of these kits that is actually made for big wheels, and the Pro Touring upper ball joint, upper control arm, whatever. There's no difference in the arm. It's just the ball joint is 1 inch longer. So then your adjustability and your height, this and that. This angle right here on the sway bar is still wrong. So where the sway bar link goes in, so that's why you'll see people's cars with the rubbers ripped out and people over tighten it. That's all you need to do right there. Just a little bit, about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of thread sticking at the top. You guys that smash that all the way down, but you see what I'm talking about with the sway bar. The sway bar means this piece needs to be bent down a little bit more, so that way it'll travel properly and it won't eat that rubber out. But anyways, this bracket that bolts to the frame, and then it moves this in, and then you bolt to here. You have to put the bolt in, you know, the head at the top. Not because of this front one. This front one's got plenty of room to do it the other way. You just don't have that room back here to do that. So if you're looking at keeping bolts the right direction and stuff, I like to do that. I like to keep the shit, you know, like when the coilover bolt goes in here, the head on this side, the nut on that side. Same thing over here. You be seeing cars, this should be in wrong. I've seen cars with the coilover in backwards where you can't even get to the knobs. A lot of goofy shit. One of the last things for the front suspension is greasing everything. So I'll grease at the end, because you're gonna end up greasing now and you're underneath here doing this and doing that. You end up with grease everywhere in places you didn't want it. Fenders. Somebody was asking. So I trimmed this corner, obviously got rid of the back, the lip that's back here. I took the fender, where's it at? I took the fender bolt out up here. I put a cell tap because I pulled the fender out, put the cell tap, but I kept it in a longer area to where it's not like a bow. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys out there, the fender be all bowed out. So trimming that fender like that a little bit, pulling it out that a little bit, putting the cell tap up there. And my custom alignments, when I degree the wheel back more, then it gives you the sport steering, then it clears more. So this side on the ground, floor jack underneath the rear end, holding the rear end up, making the car level, turning the wheel left and right, boom, 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 does not hit. Passenger side came close, but I went through and remeasured my degree on the spindles, which I measure the bottom of this right here to my alignment plate when it's sitting on there and the car's level and all this and that. This spindle still needs to go back about a 1/4 inch, so that would make the front of this, where the tire rod goes right here at the bottom of the spindle, would make this go up another 1/4 inch. So it needs another shim or two in the back side of the upper control arm, and that will get me where I want to be. If both of these are the same height, both sides, the car will go straight down the road. You let go to the steering wheel, it'll go straight down the road. If this spindle is degree less, the car will pull. That means the driver's one is degree more, and it will pull. It always wants to turn inwards. So then the car will pull to the right with how it's set up right now. So by adjusting that, the way that I do it, degree, sport steering, shit like that, I make these cars go straight down the road. I do like a little slight bit of going to the right, because when you go to the right, you know, you gotta have the road to deal with, the edge of the road, that the rumble strips, whatever. You go to the left sometimes, you know, you end up in oncoming traffic. But I'm not talking about the steering wheel yanking out of your hands. I'm talking about a slight natural little pull. Anyways, take that how you want to take it. I don't care. So, you guys are noticing them bars up underneath there. So, the other day I was going to film. I got rid of the cross member because I just didn't like the cross member. And I made my own setup. Of course, because I do custom shit. So, what I call the ladder bar cross member in the back. Right where this tube to the torque box as well as tube. That bend that's in there. So that bar is 47 inches wide. The bends are at 12 inches off of each side. And that bend, you know, you take and draw a straight line down the pipe. So you can take a level, put the pipe down the ground, draw a straight line on it, yellow, white, red, whatever color you want to use. And that gives you your straight line. So that way you don't have the cross member teeter-tottering on the floor, crooked and shit. So, you got your middle marks, you know, put the tube in here, tighten it up against there, put your bend where you want it. So in this case, it was at the 12 inches at that center. I don't change the dies, I leave the dies. It does crimp the tube a little bit. It doesn't really matter. There's no tech stuff for this. These cars, you know, it's not gonna be tagged where, oh, well, this bar is not, you know, it's not a manual bend, manual, whatever, manual, however the fuck say it. So it's not that perfect. It doesn't need to be. So then, how I got this yellow mark down here, and then right underneath here, boom. So then this was 2 3/4, the measurement. That's how I came up with that bend. And that bend, so that way the cross member is not too low. Some of the cars have been too low, not really too low, but a little bit lower, and then you really see it from the side, which whatever, it shows bracing. Anyways, 2 3/4, boom, boom, boom. These cars are different frame wise. On the side here, you can see how this has got the stock mount for the stock cross member. And this side over here is farther forward, so that's different. So when you put these angles in, they might come up a little different. This bar has to be a pinch longer because it's over more. This one's in more, but side bars are in there. So this is all 1.5 inch mild steel. It's not real thin. This one right here is a 1 inch tube. This is 1.5 inch. This is 1.5 inch. This should have been probably 1 5/8 inches, but I didn't have none here. These circles are 1/4 inch thick. So you'll be able to run a 3-inch pipe in here and have 1 inch all the way around. It probably doesn't need to be this big. It could be this thick. You need it to be this thick. So I could have welded it and cut this off and then flipped this and put it in here and welded it, but the circles are fine. Then whoever does the exhaust for the duals, you'll be able to come right through here, you know, just like G-bodies do, and then the pipe, you know, comes through here, as you can see, plenty of room of how the pipe comes through here. And the muffler would sit right here. So this, on the flows or on the thrust aluminum chamber mufflers, you would be offset in, then you can do center out. So you see where the center would bring you right through here. So when I put the coilovers in, the coilovers are gonna be as far out as possible. So then offset in, center out, bam, and then the pipe will be able to come right through here and go right out the back. So again, all you people that are talking about, oh, you can't do, with welding coilover setups, you can't do full exhaust, you can't do tailpipes. Yes, you can. And then the other part of that is you got to take it to a place that knows what the hell they are doing with the exhaust. They will booyah. But yeah, so that's done. What I meant to do here is I wanted to tie into the upper tray too. So I went and put this bar in, so I got ahead of myself. So it was fully in, fully welded, and then that one wasn't in. Then because I didn't have any more, I had to get another piece. So then this or that, whatever. So what I'm gonna do is, obviously I cut this piece off. You don't need it so you break bullshit. I'm gonna cut this bullshit off. I'm gonna take a tube. I got more tubes coming. So I'm gonna make it come off of here and put a bend in it, another bend in it, and I'm gonna go right into. So it's gonna be a little challenging for me to do the two bends, but I've done it before. So, but I'll be able to, or maybe I'll just come straight off of here and make it go as easy as I can up here, but not end up taking up too much of the muffler area. We want the muffler to still be able to go. So if I go right into this corner right here, I should be able to go right up to that tray without this in here and get it tied together. No point in how far I've went to not go farther. And then, you know, some people would be like, oh, this moves too much. This don't move too bad, but I'm gonna come off of here and I'm gonna go into here. I'm gonna keep it on a little bit of an angle so it kind of triangulates it. Triangle's stronger than the square. And then, oh, I know people are like, oh, look at your welds, oh, this and that. It's fine. It's fine. It's not all booger on top of booger. It's penetrated. See the heat ring? It's penetrated. The removable cross member pieces are in there. It's a pain in the ass sometimes because when you tack it and then you try to get the bolts out of your way and you try to fully go around it, so then you got to use shorter bolts. Then at the final put these in. So I mean, again, I'm not perfect. You got the, I gotta tighten that one up. But anyways, see how the burn marks. So it's actually smooth. It's just the burn marks made it look like it was goofy. But to get all the way up there is a pain in the ass when it's in the car. I know somebody would be like, oh, take it back down. Well, yeah, you can take it back down and do the inside and put it back up there. But yeah, so like I said, I got nothing to hide. Nothing to hide. It's in a spot where it's gonna take, you know, you'd have to be like, oh my God, oh, it's boogered at the top, you know, because there's some complainers out there and people that want to talk. Especially those ones that their daddy does all the work and they have no clue how to do any of the work, and they're out there running their mouths about my work. Marks. So yeah, this is an Oldsmotor, a V8 Oldsmotor car, which obviously not gonna stay in here, but for right now, what sucks is the cross pipe goes into this manifold and then it comes out of this manifold. So you'd have to cut this, cap it, weld it shut, whatever, and then, you know, run, which this flange is burnt up on this side. It's like melted. Somebody must have torched it. But redo that anyways. At least 2.5 inch pipe, so whatever, how they flare it up or flare it down. Come down, go straight through there, boom. Come back here, turn into there, boom. So yeah, exhaust. I know it's taking longer. I've been doing all kinds of other shit, been at other places, taking care of other people and trying to keep everything going. So all this shit back here is still gonna come out, be cleaned up. The rear end's getting narrowed 2 inches, both sides. Axles are right there with studs, boom. I need to get the outer axle bearings for the 707 and the 8660S. I know these are parts that I should have stocked up. Willwood brakes, of course, going on there. Viking coilovers, super drop boxes, double adjust ball ring lower controllers, boom, boom. So I will be tackling that the next couple days so I can get this thing outies. And then I'll be able to get a couple things for this with this done and out the way. And I got the New York Cutlass still sitting in the cabin. That's gonna go up on here. A couple other little small things I gotta do for a couple other people. But yeah. All right, y'all. There's some more yapping for this video. Give you guys an idea of how much I'm doing to this car and stuff. I know I've done more to this car than other cars and stuff, but there was just no point in, you know, leaving that goofy cross member, and a couple times that I have done left the cross member, and then I make the side this bar. So you got the ladder bar cross member, then make this bar angle into the side of the car, right where the mount would go. This car I actually cut off the piece of the frame. It had that other cross member area right here, and I cut it off. When you can see the thicker metal right here, I cut it off, and then I had to weld the top, see? So I welded the brace back to the bar. It's a little raggedy, but it's in a spot where you can't see it. But yeah. So I got a couple more bars coming because I don't have nothing long enough in the 1.5 inch. That's 1 5/8, but that's chromoly. That's 1 5/8, that's chromoly. That's the cross member for the back. Weight wise, this, that, whatever, the chromoly I've used it plenty of times across there. I've never had a problem with it ripping or anything like that. You guys got to watch the weight of how much weight you do put in the trunk, and you got to have the right spring combination, shock combination. It has to be the right. You can't use all the stuff I was using in the beginning. Variable rate springs you can't use. The 250 springs, sometimes they don't work. I went to a 10-inch spring and a 10-inch shock, and with doing the super drop boxes and stuff like that, I changed. I don't use that no more. The shock and spring that I use now, I use a 12-inch spring, use like 11-inch shock. It takes a little bit to push the spring onto the back shock, so it preloads, so then you get all of your shock stroke, and you can play with it a lot more, and you can get the car to ride so much better. Every car that I've did this setup on ends up riding beautiful. Plenty of adjustment. Put whatever weight in the back. You might have to turn the spring up a little bit, or just go up a bolt hole or two. But yeah, the people that are like, oh, well, so-and-so's got all the parts in stock. Once again, they don't use what I use. They use what I used years ago. Where do you think they got them part numbers and everything from? They got them from me. Yeah, Bankroll 10, bet it up. Quote me on that. They got it from me. But I've evolved. I've learned more about all this stuff. I've done a lot of reading on shocks and flow and control and all that to get the car to ride good. If the car rides a little stiff, I can go through and fucking change some settings. If you got a real weak spring and your compression is set low, you're gonna have a real floaty, bouncy, like not a stiff ride, but floaty ride. There you go, floaty, like a boat floating and shit. No control. So with a softer spring, you got to go with more compression than you would normally go. I don't know. I know that's all gibberish to you guys. Double adjustable, Viking. You get 2 nines per shock. Top of the line stuff out there, Viking. Best bang for your buck, Viking. For the front and back coilovers. Front springs, 24s, G-bodies, 550s, 26s, G-bodies, 550s. Shit, even 28s on a G-body, 550s. You got plenty of adjustability and ride quality with a 550. So yeah. All right, y'all. I'll be back. Let me get some more work done. All right, check this out. So, narrowing the rear end on this one, and for anybody narrowing. If you're using a drop box, which you know I love to use, the super drops, the way I brace the rear ends up and everything. So, put in, well, first, that's what I did here, is I have torches. I've had them for years. I rarely ever use them. But the other week I was at another shop and I used, well, my old shop, whatever. I used them to blow the stock mounts off real fast. My head is a little dirty on there, so that's why I didn't do it. Anyways, don't matter. Use the torch, cut that off, cut it off way faster. I could trim that closer, but I went ahead and did that. And then I have these other ends, because you don't want to use this bullshit. Then you got to drill it, this and that, if you're narrowing the rear end. So get you some box Chevy ends, or S10 ends, because they're 4 bolt. I'm not sure about that. Anyways, box Chevy, stuff like that. So I had a couple of these laying around because I cut them off some 7.5 inch rings, whatever. So this is 3.5 inches back here, blah, blah. So I went and I cut off what I needed. My number is 15 3/4 from the back of this edge right here, the housing, and the tube, boom, to the inside of the back of there. So this is 2 inches narrower than what this tube was. So I went ahead, I was able to do it. I already had those. That's both of those measured 3.5. So I took the 3.5 plus whatever that I needed. I made them a number. Now I gotta double check that. But anyways, you're gonna narrow rear end. You don't need these, the time it takes to drill them and all of that, and then you gotta cut the top piece off, because that's G-body. I don't know why GM did that. Dumb. Like, there's not too much that GM did that's dumb, but that's dumb. Like, why didn't you just leave it the same as Bosch, Chevy, S10, all that, same. Probably had something to do with these small ass axle tubes. Anyways, yeah, I know everybody's like, oh, 7.5, why are you building that, blah, blah. This car will be a cruiser, and it's gonna be set up for 7-inch lips. I probably said that plenty of times, but I know it's taking forever to do this with everything else I got going on. Getting all set up out here and trying to keep everything moving. I know I got excuses all the time. But anyways, fuck that in. I don't have to take it off. You guys that are having problems turning this nut to get it off with this, without this turning, I take, if I was to keep this, whatever, or take the backing plate off, just doing brakes, whatever, I clean up right here and I weld this part to there, to the backing plate. Then I'm able to break that loose. Of course, on the driver's side, I tried to unbolt it because I was just going to unbolt it, get out of my way, this and that. Faster way to do it. Get rid of the whole shebang. Now it's going in the scrap bin. Cut doesn't have to be perfect. You can make it pretty perfect. And then, you know, stuff your shit. This one, I started to bevel it. I'm going to bevel it a little more so I can get it to line up real good. Leave just a little bit of a gap. Obviously, I got the narrowing bar. I'm going to take this shit out. 241 is what this gear ratio is, with a 307 and a V8. 241. It's crazy. Oh yeah. All right, that's the next step in this. So once I get that, then I can go through and start cleaning up the frame. I still gotta cut out the pockets on the top, and then clean it all up and get the tube in there. But yeah, all right, y'all. I'll be back. All right. Back roll down. I got the rear end set up. Coilover brackets are on there, drop boxes are on there, brakes is on there. It's all welded up. Got the cross brace tacked in. I think that's where I want it. Too many times I would tack it in, then fully weld it in, then get the rear end in position where I wanted it, and end up with the coilovers on too much of an angle or not enough. Now it's ready to go down, and the anti-roll becomes a problem. So I got it tagged, waiting. Once I set this in place, of course, get those uppers out of there, put the new uppers in there, put the lowers in. Now that I got the bracing done, I put a little bit of paint on there. I ran out, but it don't look too bad. That is satin, y'all, satin. Krylon satin, what's it called, rust tough. It's got the primer and everything in it, so I mean it doesn't come out too bad. Just when you're spraying it, you just got to keep spraying, keep the shine going. So I mean it's not too bad. Obviously, you know, wasn't sand blasted and fully cleaned and all that, but the car wasn't a bad car to start with, just the paint, but that's on there lightly. As you can see, put some rods. haven't got this stuff finished up. Got to get these off of there, but once I set the cross member, put these arms in, boom, put the brakes on. Bearings, right here, y'all, bearings. So, what to do with them? Amazon. Yeah, I know it says made in China, but these bearings are actually pretty thick. They feel good, they're nice and heavy. Got the seals in there too. This pack is like 18 bucks for bearings and seals. You spend more than that at the parts store. And if you buy the cheap stuff from the parts store, yeah, you're gonna save some money, but I've had cheap stuff break, I've had shit go out, I've had the seals go out, and you're messing with the car again over and over and over. These are good seals. You can tell how they're built. Yeah, they don't have a lip on them, but they fit inside there. You always put grease on them. Because once that axle starts to spin for the first time, just moving the car in and out the garage, down the driveway, down the street, whatever, it burns the seals, then they start leaking. So, gotta have grease on there. I went ahead and I bought the 2 sets because we got the ones for the tan car I'm working on now, and the ones for the New York Hurst Olds that's going on the lift next. Boom. Got the axles for that car. Went 1 inch shorter from G-body. So that's 27.5 inches long. 30 spline instead of the 28 spline. Went up to 30 spline. Moser aftermarket axles, stronger, better. You'll be able to ride, you'll be able to do burnouts, you'll be able to get it, not worrying about axle braking. 2 inch studs because it's only the 1 inch narrow. Boom, the wheel's gonna sit under the car. They're screw-in studs when you get the axles from Moser or wherever you get them. With a screw-in stud, back the stud up, put some Loctite on it, tighten it back up. Torque it, whatever. But yeah, this thing I still have to do the back frame setup like I'm gonna fix it. So I haven't totally figured out. I got a different way that I'm probably gonna do it now. And so frame notch there, change these control arms, get the coilovers up in there, figure out if that spot's gonna work. If that spot's gonna work, go ahead and tag the tabs on the top. I'll be able to pull that down, boom. Put the anti-roll tabs on, all that, get all that set up, get the bearings and stuff in there. Finish painting it. The gear can go back in right now because it's stock. Left the shims on the left side, shims on the right side. Put it back in, it'll be right back in like it was stock. Tighten it up, 65 foot-pounds torque on the main caps. The drive shaft I never had to take out. But yeah, a few more things to go and this thing will be ready to go bye-bye. People are asking about the horsepower and stuff like that. This just got a stock 307 in it. The purpose of doing all the bracing and stuff like that, the car is ready. The car's a clean car, the car's ready. If they want to put an LS in it, or they want to put a healthy small block or a big block or whatever, and change the gear in the rear end, and maybe at that point put some Moser axles, because these axles are just shortened, reconditioned, shortened axles, because it's just stock cruiser shit. It's only a 7.5. But anyway, you could bump it up to a 28 spline center and then put 28 spline axles in it, and it would work. You'd be able to tear it up on the street, depending on the horses, to go to the track, stuff like that. It would work. But yeah. All right, y'all, let me get some more done, and I'll be back on it. All right, y'all, I know this video's long, and I skipped through some shit, but done, as in, I just test drove it up and down the driveway, shit like that. I didn't take it on the road because the brake pedal's a little soft, so I gotta go through the brakes, bleed them again. Probably just had a big air pocket somewhere that didn't want to come out. You can see the rotors. It's not totally broken yet, so the front's not squeezing as hard as it should. Pedal height is kind of there, but then not there. See, this back's cleaned off pretty good. The back of it. It's cleaned in, got a little more to go. But yeah, it's all spray canned up. I know it's nighttime right now. Damn. Braced up, blah, blah. Anti-roll. I set the rear end height at, I normally set it, you know, from center to there. I normally set it at the number, which is 15 with a 30, or with a 24 because it's 30 inches overall. So I have that. Well, this one I set at 17 because I knew about the shock's gonna squish about 2 inches. Well, I set the anti-roll up, and I should have changed it. I should have actually set the anti-roll a little bit farther forward to straighten out the link. But I should have set the rear end at the 15 like I normally do. I don't know why I did that differently. But it's on the ground. In the driveway, I got a big bump in the middle of the driveway as you drive up. And that's the only bump I feel, but it's got a 250 spring in the back. It's got plenty of shock stroke. You see when I put the little O-ring, I moved it. So that way, I put it all the way down when the car goes down, and then the ride. And I went through the yard, so that's as far up as it pushed. So I know it's not coil bound, but I'm probably just overthinking it. It ended up tucking real nice. No rub marks in the tubs. I did have to go through and trim it a little bit, the chrome, just so it didn't hit. These are the tires, some wheels that were on the other one, and the other car had trimmed it. But that car is 2.5 inches of narrow. With these wheels on it, we had, I think, 1.5 inches of spacing. So it was out a little bit more. This one's only 2 inches, so I only got a 1 inch spacer on it. It's set up for a 7-inch lip. Go right on it. And if not, I can just put some C-clip eliminators on it, on these axles, come down another 1/2 inch. But like I said, the other car, 2.5 inches narrow on both sides. This car, 2 inches narrow on both sides. These wheels are on here and they're clearing better because I did that front notch. So I rolled the frame in right here. So anti-roll gives you, you can have tighter clearances with anti-roll because it keeps the ass implanted. But yeah, tomorrow, daylight, I'll get in here and bleed these brakes all the way out. It's got full turn. I mean, dude, it's crazy that I didn't set the steering stops. I went ahead and put another, it comes with the 2 little brass looking washers. I went and put the lock washer on there because, let me show you. So this is the narrowed big rim sway bar, the actual thing from QE1. That is 4 big rims. So see how it rubbed right there? So that was tire on the frame, not rim, tire. So obviously it didn't hurt nothing. So I went and I put that lock washer in there. So I don't know if that's enough. The old style arms had adjustable. You know, you can turn it out and then jam the nut to get, you know, because this is where the spindle turns and hits here. So that's how you limit that. So I added that in there and maybe to catch it. Because again, that is very, very, very light. On this side, what it did was it hit the gearbox bolt, and then it's got a little rim line, but it didn't. Actually, I don't even think it's a rim line because there isn't a burr on that rim. But you can see the tire. So, and it cleaned the paint right off the head of that bolt. So the steering stop, the washer I just put in there should work. Should work fine. I mean, I had to turn the wheel all the way, but I mean, it's got plenty of turning. Sport steering, how I do it anyways. So yeah, the car's dirty. The shop, all the overspray, the way the wind comes through. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all set up. I know my brake line job is not that nice. And the right side ended up being too short because it's a 30-inch line. And this side's a 20-inch line. And this side worked perfect. Then I had to unbolt the thing off the rear end. And I zip tied it to the upper control arm. I'll figure out what I'm going to do to change that later. This car's been kicking my ass. Everything else I got going on has been kicking my ass. Finally out here, being able to work whenever I want, but I still got a lot of BS going on. But yeah. So I'll go over here. Lift. I'm waiting for somebody to say something about my wire for my lift. It's not permanent. It's not permanent. And now I mapped it out the other day on the floor here. If I take that lift, move it forward 3 feet and over 1 foot, I can put another lift on this side. Give me 2 foot here. Keep the pillar like right about here. Keep it on this pad right here. The door will be able to open. You'll be able to walk right through here. Because everything I got going on and needing to work on my shit and stuff like that. But yeah, this side would be, right on there. But like I'm saying, this distance here, this would be, 3 more feet forward and over a foot. So the columns, when you walk through here, you'd have, just step to the side a little bit. But yeah, I'll get another one just like this. Put it up. I mean, that's more than enough room over there. So, and I did square it up pretty good with the garage door, but it doesn't matter. This garage door is 14 by 14, so it's not a 12 by 14, so it's 14 wide. The lift is 11 foot wide from outside of base to outside of base. So it can go over that way, the 1 foot or 3 foot. And then this, you can tell basically how that car is sitting in there. It's a little bit more to the right because of the door, or a little bit more to the left, my fault, because of the door to the right. So it would be just probably, the car itself would probably be damn near right there. Maybe a foot more to the left. But yeah. That way I can always have one car up when I'm waiting for whatever, and be finishing the other one or whatever. So, yeah, 2 lifts. Gotta have 2 lifts. But alright, y'all. I'll get a daytime shot of this, and that'll be the end of this video. So, a couple more minutes to it. I appreciate y'all. And if you ain't tucking on the lift, your shit ain't tucking. I started that years ago. Coilovers, they don't travel that far. Your shit looks like it's squatted on the lift. When you set it down, it's gonna go that 2 inches. So this, the chrome line right up with the rim lip. So it's tug nice. But I'll show you that, guys, here in a minute. All right, y'all, I'll be right back. Yeah, forward steering. See how that wheel turns and leans. Definitely a little bouncy in the grass. Jane. All right, y'all. There it is. Take this off this because video ain't too bad. Damn, I can't figure this out, y'all. But all right, so got a little tuck to it, just like I said. Springs will break in just a little bit. Front might need to go up just a hair, but I think it looks good. It was cruising down the street nice. I'm just worried about the back. Anti-roll might just be on a goofy ass angle. I might have to get some more upper brackets and move the anti-roll forward just that little bit. But I could just be overthinking it. And she's dirty too right now. She's dirty. I believe it is original paint, but she's dirty. The dust and debris in the shop, you know. But yeah, again, like I was saying, pay attention to these front fenders. And you can see it's not all bowed out. It's where it looks like a flare, like these other guys are doing. See that? This fender's got a dent in it, so don't never mind that. It was like that. But it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not flared out. I pulled it out just a little bit and put some screws in it to hold it out. I did do some spray wax on it the other week. I blew it all off and spray waxed it, and just used a towel, regular bath towel, and wiped it down. You know, I mean, obviously the paint ain't perfect on this thing, but she looks wet right there, don't she? Perfect time of day. The sunset's in the background. I should get some pictures of it in the backyard. But anyways, all right, y'all. There it is right there. Bank 10, bedded up. I know there's other people going to be looking in the background for certain things and stuff like that. That's all good, though. All right, y'all. Bedded up, bedded up. There it is. Cutlass. Done. Suspension wetted up. Not the best. I'm not the best. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. But I take the time. This one I took a little more time than I needed. Of course, I always say that. But you know, I double checked everything, this and that, triple checked. I just wish I would have set the rear end at the, I don't know what made me set the rear end at the different number. And then I should have made sure the anti-roll before I should have double checked it, which I did, and I thought it might not even be a problem. But all right, y'all, better at Kustoms, 10, Illinois, Cutlass, 24's, no mini tub, frame notch. I did the quarter rail frame notch in the back, and I did a little bit of that frame notch in the front of the back wheel. I rolled the frame in just a little bit right there. Frame is fully braced. You know, I use them drop boxes, and I set up a mean brace in the back. So, all right, y'all, I'm out. Better up.